This land of ours is under attack. The time has come, we're gonna take it back. Just wait and see. Don't tread on me. I won't sit back, stand idly by, and watch the heart of my nation die. Oh, not me. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on my Bible, don't tread on my guns, don't you tread on my faith in God's only Son. Don't tread on me. Don't tread on me.
Yeah, what's that dancing in a circle thing do for you, Steve? Just Jews celebrating?
Dance in a circle.
Yeah.
Oh, I went to one of the whatchamacallit, congregation up in Greeley, and when they're praying and whatever and worshiping, sometimes before it starts, everybody's going in a circle, kind of dancing and singing to Yahuwah.
Wonder what that has to do with it. I'm not laughing at you, but what's that have to do with something? What is it a power thing? Because I also noticed the Islam do the same thing. Remember around the
Yeah, well, look what they did around Jericho. They walked around Jericho.
I thought it was the trumpets that brought it and the
No, walking around it and the trumpets.
Okay, both.
But they walked around it. Then I believe they went counterclockwise.
We should have done that to the Capitol.
Well, that's what I wanted to do. We could have
start
done that to the Capitol, and that would have been really high energy, but we had too many disruptors there.
Well, no, they ran in immediately, and then I don't know what happened. We have to look into that laptop thing. Maybe the good FBI got it and then held on to it.
I seen inside video that someone had, and it was a special forces guy that grabbed him.
Hmm.
And they just caught it to when he went down. He was coming down the stairs. He was in a green, pretty warm green military jacket, military garb, no insignias, laptop like this. Someone went to touch him on the shoulder. He goes, "Don't touch me." And he went down the stairs and went and jumped into a black SUV.
Huh.
Yeah. And it was Pelosi's lap. They're so brilliant. When they left their desk to go to the chambers to vote, they did not shut down their laptops. Anytime, especially in those kind of positions, especially as a criminal, you leave, you need to turn your stuff off.
Yeah, they're stupid.
I mean, I don't, you know what I mean, though. That's what I mean, the way they think.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. You're not trying to give them any evidence or any information or anything that they don't know, but you're right. They're what was accused said that these people are stupid. And when it comes to that, I think they were also cocky too. Of this part,
Yeah,
I think they were going to lose.
Well, just like Yahuwah says, he will send them a strong delusion. He will allow them to bring a lie. He will confound the wise. They become confounded and they don't see. They really don't see.
I was about to say, you heard about that? The gays and the trans are fighting now.
Well, yeah, I mean, the people that are gay, a lot of LGBTQ does not back up or stand for pedophilia and trans trying to convert children into transes. A lot of them, LGBTQ, I think there are a good number of them that are decent people in the aspect of a sense of righteousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not going to hurt kids. They're going to leave people alone. They made a choice to be as they want to be. Then that's their choice. Yahuwah gives you the choice. But we all need to study scripture to find out what the reality of those choices are.
Oh yeah. No, you just reminded me of I'll show you what I was laughing at, but I saw a bumper sticker that was brilliant this weekend. That you can have a good whack at it. Because we went to the Lawrence and Gardens here locally, and the liberals are, liberals.
Yeah.
Thinking, I got a bumper sticker. I got 'em this time. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
And it's kind of sad. There are people that call themselves Democrat that are really intelligent people, but they're all getting lumped in with these people like you showed us, Antifa, people like that. And a lot of them really aren't like that. But of the logic there is to enough to where a lot of people are moving to the middle right slightly. There's a big movement that way.
Yes. Crap, fine. I lost the one video I was going to show you. Somebody wheeled a Trump cardboard cutout to the edge of their driveway, and some liberal was coming by flipping off on it. And then Facebook decides to reload.
Oh, it did?
Fucking thing. I hate Facebook. And then when you type in, cardboard cutout of Trump, it never show up. That's not what it was marked as under the video.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate. And we paid for this, by the way. We paid for this irritants.
Yeah, we did. It started out life logs from DARPA. That's where it came from.
Yeah, that's another episode we're gonna have to do too.
Yeah. That's why I always tell everybody I'm really not into social media, but I am going to start paying attention to X and Truth Social. Those are two I'm going to watch. I'm not a Facebook fan. I just, I'm not the Nextdoor app kind of guy. Now, Jax took off on me the other day, but I put a little thing out there and some lady called in the neighborhood. Hey, just saw him run up the street. So I was able to track him, which in that thing, app's pretty good. Because in this neighborhood, living out here in Sun Country where I'm at, you don't think anybody's watching. People are watching. I was driving my black Charger around looking for Jax because my truck broke. I'm in a black Charger with blacked out windows, going real slow down these dirt roads looking for my dog. And then it goes, then somebody posted, there's a black Charger. They're driving really slow. Watch out for your kids. I'm like, what? So the lady at the store, she put in, oh, that's just Steve looking for a dog. It just goes to show, though, got to be careful.
Yeah. Oh, I found out what that thing was, Steve.
Yeah.
You're right. But it's nice that people are watching.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos did some stupid capsule shot up.
Oh, he looks DEI to me, man.
He is.
Well, it's you hire the people that are that was just a show. That was a stunt.
Yeah.
Why would you waste that much money to do some old technology like that?
All those powerful women in there. Remember, women are more powerful than men in the Satan.
By 10 times the amount.
Whoa, where did this 10 times the amount come from? I mean, man, why aren't they bodybuilding then?
No, spiritually they claim, but that's not true. When I went to the tantrics years ago, back in 2015, Kundalini. Not that I was into that. I was more into the yoga side of it, but that's where that came from. I heard some people talking one time. That was really a very interesting deal, though. Yeah, it was like 5 days of training and then 3 days, 8 hours a day of straight yoga. Kundalini.
Craziness.
Oh, it was. But I mean, it was an experience I'll never forget. I didn't look at it like as a religious aspect thing, spiritually, but not as a religious thing.
Who would Jesus deport?
Yeah. Yeah. Think about it.
Mom goes the guys out of the temple.
The what?
It said, Mom goes, Jesus deported the guys out of the temple.
Yeah. He called them a brood of vipers. In fact, Pontius Pilate wrote how nasty they really were. And he wrote how Yeshua was a very Pontius Pilate. We need to get, I'll find that letter and we'll just read it. But it appears to be pretty accurate. He talked about when Jesus was approaching the area he was in, his building, that he became fearful, so fearful that he couldn't even hardly move his feet because of who he knew he was. And he actually didn't try to stop him preaching anything because he wasn't preaching any revolution. He was just preaching about, what we need to know. But the priest in doing miracles, Pontius Pilate talked about the miracles he was doing, raising people from the dead. He even said that he even mentioned that Yeshua, his resurrection even. And but he said it was the temple priest, the Pharisees, the Sadducees. He said they were actually very wicked people. And he had mentioned that Yeshua called them a brood of vipers. Yeah. And actually, according to Ethiopic writings, Pontius Pilate, right after that, him and his wife did become believers and they repented and became followers of Yeshua. So Pontius Pilate, he knew who Yeshua was. But he only had 100, one centurion with 100 ground soldiers to keep a whole city in check. So he couldn't, he could have, but they would have burned down the city and did it anyways.
Of course.
That's a little side note there. I'm sorry I went off on a limb there, but we need to get into the weather modification stuff.
We also need to get in the Bible too. A lot more people of just because you left church doesn't mean you're spiritually full. You could also continue to read your Bible outside of your priest reading it, or preacher reading it to you, or your priest reading it to you, or rabbi reading it to you. You can continue to read it with yourself and finding out contents around it, or go find your favorite verse. If everybody loves John 3:16, go find that. Go read the outside contents of before John 3:16.
Yeah, read the whole chapter, just not the one verse. Yeah. Remember, stay in the whole chapter. And what I do a lot of times, because I really don't have a congregation I go to, so I'm kind of like an outsider because of Jeremiah 6:16. I'm seeking the ancient ways, ancient pathways, which are good. And fortunately, a lot of churches, you can call them church. Actually, they're actually called ecclesia. If you knew what the word church really means, you probably wouldn't use that word so much anymore. So the ecclesia, but there's a lot of us that eventually will all come together in a congregation, in an ecclesia, or we're searching for ones that are in tune with God's word and the ancient ways.
You can only turn off the overhead lights, not the underhead lights. The under counter lights are fine, yeah.
So you just have to find your way and you have to pray about it. But there's a lot of content online. I always refer people to the God Culture and Parable of the Vineyard. Both those groups of people are, you'll be amazed at the stuff you're going to learn from Scripture, because they're not part of the Protestant Christianity stuff that we're so attuned to right now. But anyways, we need to let's talk about the weather modification stuff you have.
And yeah, it's right now it's all over. I don't have it organized, but here's one episode that
Can we engineer the weather?
That's a rocket motor there.
Form of
So
weather
that's old
modification
stuff.
that can produce what we want more or less of, more rain or snow, or even smaller hail pellets. China is building the world's largest weather modification system to artificially enhance rain that will cover an area of over 2.1 million square miles by 2025. Today, at least 52 countries across the globe are using some sort of weather modification program. While it may sound too good to be true, the technology has been around for more than 75 years. Clouds are made up of tiny water droplets. Groups of droplets form water vapor or ice crystals. By itself, this water vapor isn't dense enough to fall to the ground as precipitation. Instead, it rises until it becomes supercooled and condenses around tiny particles of dust in the sky, called condensation nuclei. It takes billions of these condensed water droplets to form a visible cloud. In cloud seeding, a seeding agent is used as the condensation nuclei. Typical seeding agents are chemicals such as silver iodide, potassium iodide, or solid carbon dioxide. These are shot into clouds by rockets or sprayed into clouds using drones or aircraft. Unattached supercooled water vapor molecules in the clouds condense around these particles. The condensed water vapor droplets then group together, becoming larger and heavier. This process continues until the droplets are large enough to fall as rain. Recently, the UAE created artificial rain using drones. These drones targeted certain clouds with electrical discharges through concentrated lasers to force water droplets to pool in the air, triggering the desired rainfall. Today, the largest cloud seeding system in the world is found in China. China creates 55 billion tons of artificial rain a year. Other countries are also looking to ramp up cloud seeding efforts in the hope of
yeah, that's the this one right here, Steve. That actually causes clouds. I know that shows.
Oh, that one does. Yeah, they're just
Yeah.
running there. That's test firing a rocket engine there.
Yeah, but they're saying afterwards it causes a bunch of different.
Okay, because it's full of particulates.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have the other one where we're seeing, because what they're doing now is the chemtrailing is spreading out and preventing the sun from hitting the earth.
Well, here, this is what I got in the Rolodex for now. It's this is only the Telegram thing. My other thing has only got 3 of them in there, so I don't have all my crap together with this. I kind of rushed it, so I don't have a time lapse of what you're thinking about. You know, where it goes from this, Steve, to this.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be.
All right, so if you look,
Oh crap! Forgot.
you can see 2 different chemicals. So one's staying longer than the other one. So for all you people saying that these are contrails, explain that. Explain that. 2 different.
Yeah, they don't go away. You go back an hour or so later, they spread into clouds.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Behind us.
And the reason why I say that is I got tons of these videos and pictures where they have. See, there it is.
Yeah, that's how they spread out. And then they turn into clouds. Then they actually keep the sun from hitting the ground. And then we're getting barium and aluminum chloride dumped on us.
Oh, yeah.
Right there. That's it. Happy little clouds there.
Yeah, but that is testing a rocket motor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a very good picture of it.
Oh, I know they're testing the rocket motor. But there was a if you watch it, it's got what's his name in it from Top Gear? Jeremy Clarkson in there, and he does a whole video about it.
Does that look like nature to you?
Yeah,
I think wind can repeat patterns like that.
That's what they look like afterwards.
that's the cirrus cloud there.
That's frequencies in the
But
stratosphere.
go ahead and stop that a second.
Okay.
Mine.
Stratosphere.
Yeah.
The chemtrail clouds look like a sticky cotton candy. When you look at them, they look alien. Those are cirrus clouds. Those are high altitude clouds there. So you just have to differentiate between them. But when you see actual chemtrail clouds, they look like cotton candy floating in the sky.
He's talking about the ripples in the clouds where HARP is running its frequency through it.
Oh, well, those to me, yeah, I've seen those before, but those look like cirrus clouds. Those clouds precede a storm in a few days.
Takes them a while.
Yeah. Like they've been chemming the heck out of here like crazy, but here in Denver, but there's 24 states that have outlawed any geoengineering now. 24 states.
Well, that's good.
And they said the skies are turning blue in those areas, but you're here in Denver and they're still doing it. The stuff blows right over the top.
Oh, they're still doing it here too.
And that's why we have these vicious storms, the 1,000-year flood, down around Missouri, Arkansas areas, stuff like that down there.
What's that make you familiar to, Steve? 1,000-year Reich? 1,000 year of Satan's reign. I mean, how many more thousand do we have to go?
Yeah.
With these dark ones?
And not much longer, because Book of Enoch and the Book of Daniel, they both asked and they were given the information. It says we will know the season, but we will not know the exact day or hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, we're going to go into a golden age and really good stuff. But I fear 20, 30 years, 40 years down the road, we're going to swing right back. And this time it ain't coming back.
That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, they almost look alien in nature. Look at them. Those are not contrails. Then look how it blocks the sun from hitting the earth.
Yeah.
And so that makes us cooler. Right now here in Denver, we're cooler because the sun is getting blocked, significantly blocked.
We're back in the 30s again. Yeah, then we got the we have one of these. That's why we have the next rad, Steve. That's why I think a lot of the storms go around Omaha and go up to go down or go up to Sioux City. One of the two.
We have one of those too, right on Smoky Hill. It was way there before anything existed around it too.
Yeah, these guys. I mean, it's just a whole list. This is theirs going so far. People do it, and then you also
and you said they have a patent for the geoengineering. Next time we're on, if you could try to find that patent number, and then try to find which department and squadron patch shows the geoengineering.
Oh, I got those video. I didn't want to show too much personal on here, but I'll
Well, that one girl that used to work there that was part of the she was part of it. She was like the warehouse procurement officer or person for that.
remember this, Steve? I wish they would take the Hunter thing because it went from 35. Now it says 86, 92, 105 is building up. Then
Yeah.
went to category 5 just before it hit us. But what they're not showing is where was it? At first, NOAA was coming out of here, New Orleans, or not New Orleans, but Louisiana. Then they were coming out of over here in Florida and coming up and over. And they were following it. And then they jumped back over to Louisiana.
Well, you see the east side of Florida,
Yeah.
you go down about 3/4 down under the ocean there, right off the coast, is a bunch of HARP equipment underwater.
Yeah. Or the floater that I showed a minute ago too.
Yeah.
Because they're doing NORAD and NEXRAD again. Or not again, but they do them. But yeah, I do have the patents actually here. I just don't have the other. I did show. Remember, I showed that a couple of
Shows ago.
yeah, where they seeded us, and
Yeah.
where they were coming out of was Wichita, Kansas. And I've
Well,
seen them flying around. Go ahead.
You know what we need to do? We need to try to get a hold of that lady that was part of the squadron that was a department of the Air Force that was actually part of the geo weather modification, and see if we can't interview her.
Yeah, I like to start interviewing some people.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people work, man. It's just crazy. But here's here's one of the I have a whole list, but
Oh
I
yeah, there's a U.S. patent right there.
didn't have it lined up for the day. And speaking of alien, you know, it looks like rumble strips and
Now those clouds on the right, those aren't cirrus. The way they're not that thick and together like that. That's actually probably HARP generated.
well, also look at the rainbow colored.
Yeah.
I mean, it's chemical. I know that's how you get rainbows, but rainbows don't look like that.
No, they don't. They absolutely don't.
But yeah, that's one of the patents. But I was looking at because the 1320 guy was taking a picture of this, but I was looking at the clouds. We've had milk clouds like this for a while.
I have seen clouds like that. Those are, to me, are high turbulence clouds.
Oh, there's our NEXRAD. That's what I think is, you know, causing them to break up and go around us. Mixture between with that, Steve, and that other one I showed a couple shows ago. Remember those antennas that we believed to be HARP?
Yeah.
You know, like that man that we believed to be Al Cowling.
Yeah.
Oh, but the here's another one, another chemtrail, where they're or not chemtrail, but HARP, where they actually talk about it, and
That's actually, yeah.
people have to think about it goes up, not outwards.
Well, yeah. HARP actually messes with the stratosphere. And then it causes low pressure, and they move the jet stream with it. And when they move the jet, hey, look at that, move the jet stream, then you can cause weather to move with it. Oh yeah, that's not natural. Yeah, those are all chem clouds there.
Happy little clouds.
You know,
That's what's
yeah, above the cumulus clouds trying to form. Those are chem up there. That's what they remember. I said they look like alien clouds from another planet. They look like kind of like sticky cotton candy.
yeah. All right, it doesn't look right.
And I think those clouds are real, but they're getting messed with HARP.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of them. I don't know what's on this whole list.
Yeah.
Continues with that or because like I said, I haven't gone through the full gone through this yet because I have so much more of this and so many more videos with doctors and scientists actually talking about it. And you know, going through one of that is like just basically telling us what they know and what they've worked on, like whistleblowers, as you would call it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what familiar with this game is, but they, you know, they seem to be someone was using it the other day like it was a bunch of tarot cards.
New tarot cards.
But yeah, the
Oh, I know. That's ridiculous. That's not contrails, that's chemtrails.
Mhm.
If we quit doing that, we're gonna watch our weather get really very decent.
Well, we should have had rain the other day, Steve, and we didn't get it. I looked outside, you know, when I went out there to let the dog out, let's say.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, it looked like like a storm's coming in, wind, everything, no lightning though, or you know, no rain, just the wind and everything. But you can see like what I'm talking about, you know, when a storm's coming, you can just see it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it feels that way. Yeah, but I think they were breaking it up. Because we're in fire weather. We're prime weather, like I told you 2 months ago. We're in prime weather for you know what, an attack. So if they want to use the dew weapon, they could use, and this all goes with the dew weapon as well.
Yeah. So if I build a house, it's getting a blue roof.
Well, he's who Juan said you could change the frequencies, but look who did this one: weather modification and climate modification by National Science Foundation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
I
doesn't.
watched I have somewhere I have a CD. Can't find it now, but it was all of the climatologists come together. They had a big meeting and they talk about it directly. I need to find that CD.
This look what the year is, 1960.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, it's insane. People, oh, it didn't happen. It's brand new. Just because you heard about it doesn't make it brand new.
A lot of stuff. Electric cars came out actually in the early 1800s, and a lot of them were out in the late 1800s. We had a lot of them.
Yep.
And they quit producing them in 1836. 1936 was the
Yeah.
last production.
Trying to see if we can get into the meat of it, because I just got this one. You know, I found it and downloaded it, so I haven't got to look through. It looks like a whole bunch of words so far.
Yeah.
I was expecting to see at least an experiment or saying, you know, a drawing of how they showed how it happened, but it almost looks like it's a breakdown reading. I don't know if we could put PDF files with this connected yet. Because last time I tried to do something like that, they said you have to get known with the Rumble before you post any more, because you could be spam.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like,
We'll get it down to a science. This is
yep.
This is a long road project. It's not, maybe once another few months, when I get things organized a little better, a lot more time will go into this. And then maybe we can get to the point, not that I'm in like news type of stuff, but it'd be cool to be able to go in the White House briefing room and ask some direct questions.
Yep.
Like, finding out that, the federal, our treasury refinanced US debt when the interest rate went up. Why would they do that?
You also heard about Trump editing the IRS, or gonna not well, it is edit or audit the IRS.
Audit. Yeah. Well, they said there's 400 tons of gold missing. They're not letting that out too much.
They don't want to panic. They don't want people pissed off.
Yeah. Then there's the guys are pushing gold though, are bringing that up. Oh, they're going to revalue it all. Get ready.
And we know, I'm sorry, and we know mentioned that I'm listened. It was like it's 12 days ago. April 3rd I listened, but he's like, you got to get into biblical metals, gold and silver. It's like, oh, come on. People right now are doing what they did at the temple. They're taking half shekels. They're taking shavings off it. They're doing everything they can to try to rip off people. And then the situation you, Steve.
Well, just like me. Look what happened to me, man.
Yeah, I know. That's why
that was these people they're not bringing up the fact. And actually what they did to me is like in the temple, they scraped some of it off, even though they scraped it off before it went into the storage. Then they scraped it off again when it came out of the storage. They don't tell you that.
Yep. You're
They
right.
don't tell you that. Well, I wouldn't have done it, but initially the guy said, we're just, we do our 3% and that's it. So when you sell it, you just sell it. No, they take it again. And then you pay 250 to 300 a year to store your metals that are under a traditional 401k. And once you pull the metals out of the market, your money, granted, the market may have went down a little bit, but I would have made a hell of a lot more money if I would have left my money in the market. A hell of a lot more.
Even though it's yo-yoing right now, I found a
Yeah, it is yo-yo, but it's when it comes back, dude, it's going to be like a rocket sled on wheels.
I need to figure out how to get in the video. Oh, and by the way, I'm serious about the stickers. I need to get that soon. The QR code and or our name with it too. But I'm replacing the trumps. Something similar. I'm gonna do the mug shot on the driver's side,
Oh yeah,
and then him with the thumbs up still with the
Oh,
mag
yeah.
hat on the other side.
yeah.
Well, maybe a fight. I might do a fight on the passenger side.
Yeah.
That might be a little better because we're in that time.
Well, right now,
Yeah.
what's going on is like blitzkrieg. It's happening so fast. The elitists of the world, their heads are spinning.
They're
They
catching their feet.
They
Just a little-
can't. They're not comprehending.
No, I'm saying they're catching their feet a little bit right now, from the part, but it's just way too much still coming left to right. Because as soon as they start getting grip on one, Trump and I don't want to say Alliance because Alliance has been taken over. White hats, have been are doing moves because they've already planned this thing out with different AIs and
It's been planned out since Bush, since actually Kennedy started it, but it started moving forward again with Bush Senior. I know that for a fact. So
well, a lot of this is we got to go to we got to do the show where it starts off, or how this starts off from. I forgot. Remember that guy's name from the 1900s? How the plan actually started off? It was from that Playboy billionaire from the 1900s. I forgot his name. Philanthropist.
wasn't I don't think it was Hugh Hefner, it was somebody else, right?
Yeah, he was a CIA guy. No, not him. Tanya, this is the one thing she always remembered because she always had it written down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to research that. We need to go back into some history. It was Janice Ellen that refinanced our debt in the Treasury at a higher interest rate. Talk about corrupt. And she stated that it's a pipe dream that we're going to bring business back to the United States. Does this sound like somebody we know?
Magic wand.
Yeah.
You're gonna need a magic wand.
It's coming back though. We're coming back, and the Federal Reserve, the IRS, all this stuff is about to totally change. So all the CPA people out there, you might be wanting to look for another line of work.
You know what? I used to have a car that says CPA certified pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I think that's true.
They'll still be, you still have to have a CPA because business expensive, balances and, profit and loss statements. You're going to have that. But as far as doing these complicated, returns, this line goes to that line, subtracted from this line, go to this page, add it to this line, subtract it from that line, check this block, don't check this block. See what I mean?
Waste of time.
It's like, what?
Well, it's almost like, Steve, you got to shut off this light. You can't shut off that light. You can't shut off this light, like that you said.
Yeah.
Our video I found that's 2 minutes long. I forgot what it said.
Gakona, Alaska. The project is called HARP.
Oh yeah.
HARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, originally a joint effort of the Air Force and Navy in cooperation with a number of academic institutions.
HARP is comprised of 180 antennas, approximately 72 feet tall, linked together to function as one giant steerable antenna. Steerable because it can aim millions of watts of ELF waves into one tiny patch of the atmosphere.
Extremely
The
low.
amount of energy we're talking about here is 3.6 million watts, injecting their entire output into a spot that's about 12 miles across by about 2.5 miles deep by about 90 miles up.
This is where HARP is pointing. It's an area located roughly 300 miles from Anchorage. The U.S. military says HARP is merely being used to study the physical and electrical properties and behavior of the ionosphere for both civilian and defense purposes. Another theory is surfaced. The intense energy being beamed into the sky by HARP is actually heating up the atmosphere, causing weather changes.
HARP is being used for weather modification. The military's own record proves it. They've admitted it within their own documents, and yet they still deny it to the public.
HARP is one of several ELF wave transmitters located all over the globe. The United States owns and operates 3 of them, one in Gakona, Alaska, another in Fairbanks, Alaska, and one in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. Russia has one in Vasilursky near Nizhny Novgorod, and the European Union has one near Tromsø in Norway. Working in tandem, these transmitters could potentially alter the weather anywhere in the world, changing the jet stream's course entirely, triggering massive rainstorms or droughts. Even hurricane steering would be possible by heating up the atmosphere and building up high-pressure domes that could deflect or change the course of hurricanes. They are located in Gakona, Alaska. The project is called HARP.
Yeah, I don't know, it's just crazy I heard about that, and the earthquake machine was either a part of this or another one. And then shortly after they were testing it out or did something to it, and then that's when that tsunami happened down there in what was it, Taiwan, or I forgot where it was.
Oh, that was in actually Japan and India. India and Japan both got a really nasty tsunami.
Yeah, a lot of this is this technology. I mean, there's a lot more shows we could do off it. Yes, we are starting off, and yes, I'm still trying to organize because this is probably at least 6, 7, 8 years of organization and or going and grabbing Telegram pages and just downloading it. So I have to sift through the crap that the Telegram pages had. It makes it easier than going through 5,000 ones. I'm going scrolling, going, okay, save. And then if you go back to it the next day, you got to go scrolling and find out where you stopped.
Yeah.
So I found it easier with the space I had, just download it real quick, and it's less than a gigabyte or sometimes maybe a gigabyte, and then go through it later. And this is the consequences of going through it later because they don't mark it. They do what I do, 1566 AB, they just randomly hit shit.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's not like this is HARP or this is that, where you can type it into your search engine and your in your computer, and your computer will find it for you. So yeah, and then it's just time that you have to go and sift through that. But what I would mean by that is also us bouncing off each other and doing this. Yes, we're never going to apologize for the religion part. Our creator, we're going to give him praise because all glory goes to God.
That's right.
Or Yahuwah.
Yeah. I mean, right now, the name of God has been so hidden from us for the last couple thousand years, and we're looking for it and believe we have actually found the correct name of the way things are working out. But if you say Yahuwah, that's how we believe it sounds. But if you do say God, he searches your heart, and he knows that you're directing that thought at him, not at the dark one. And the same thing when you say Jesus, because the name Jesus, that's not his name. His name's Yeshua. But when you say it, he knows that you're referring to the Messiah. But after a while, there'll come to a point when we will need to know.
Yeah, and it might change in a year or two. But then
Yeah,
what
it
we're
might.
saying now, we might find something differently, or something might come up that was hidden, or book wise, or
Yeah, because for a while I was saying Yehovah, but Yehovah, there's no Va in ancient Hebrew. Really, there's no W like in Paleo, because when all the manuscripts you can see the name Yahuwah written in Paleo Hebrew, even though all the other Hebrews in block form Hebrew around it, they spelled it out that way. And that would be an ah sound rather than a va or a wa. So we're getting closer, but Yah, when you say Yah, that is the abbreviated name of the Most High. You are safe. Definitely, it is Yah. That's the abbreviated name.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. No, I was wondering who does German.
Yah. Well,
Yeah.
And because hallelujah, that means praise God, praise the Most High. Exactly what that means. So when they're singing it, that's praise Yah, praise the Most High, praise God. So Yah is a safe way to say it. That is a breed. And when you say Yeshua, that is God in the flesh. So you're saying his name too. So you're still saying it. When you say Yeshua, you're talking about the same Most High. But as we move along and we learn more and more, and we dig into the manuscripts and we get away from the ideologies that have locked away his name, yeah, we're going to learn a lot more. Just like we find Sundays. I mean, Constantine did that. The Sabbath is always the Sabbath.
You're worshiping the sun god being on Sunday.
Yeah. It's the first day of the week. It's a work day. The day of rest is the Sabbath. And we as a nation need to return to that.
You know what's funny about that too, Steve? People don't realize a little over 100 years ago, we switched to the pharmakia, aka Rothschild health system and food system. And then you take a look what's going on right now, Steve. Like I deep frying all my food in beef tallow.
Yeah.
When I do deep fry food, like right now I got chicken wings.
That doesn't hurt you like vegetable oil does. In fact, it's good for you. It's actually good for you. You got to have fat. Your brain runs off of fat. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fat free, starve the brain. They should, instead of saying fat free and put in parentheses, starve your brain.
The reason why I'm like, is because I got the sauce from Wingstop. So
yeah.
Fully away from them. I got to figure out how to make my own lemon pepper, and I'll be there.
Well, I'm definitely going to get into making my own stuff, because when you're talking about how they changed the food, back in the turn of the century, they started making bread and they stripped everything out of it. And people were getting sick. So they had to put some of the thiamine back in it and stuff. But our food, our bread, because in the old days, even way back when manna fell from the sky and they made the bread, you could live off the bread because it was full of nutrients that you needed.
When MAGA finishes kicking in, I'm going to get a bread maker. But we got to find that. You still have that wheat? While you're on that subject, you still have that wheat? Because that's what we need to start doing. Because if you do that,
wheat, yeah, I can go find it again. It's off of you can get it from Root Awakening. You go on their site and it's Beck's Bread. They have the ancient wheat you can buy in 5-gallon pails.
We got to start getting that way, Steve. I mean, not just me, but you too. You got to get a grinder, an automatic grinder, and then just put a bucket underneath it and get that way and start get a little mixer for it and make your own bread. And remember, we got to start doing small batches, because this stuff molds. Because I told my
within
mom,
a couple of days, it's pretty much not edible. 3 days, it's done. Bingo. It's not like set your bread on the microwave, 3 weeks later it goes That's even getting exposed to the microwave, and it's still good.
Dude, it's actually 8 months later or more. Because mom, when we went shopping this weekend,
Yeah.
she goes, "You want bread?" I go, "Yeah, don't get the bread that's the Franken bread that doesn't mold."
Yeah.
So I want the bread that molds.
So, some of the bread I bought that's made that day, you can get that bread. If you get that within 3 or 4 days, it's molded.
That's what you want.
So it's not bad. That's the cheap stuff at Walmart they make. That stuff molds like in 2 or 3 days. It's molded.
That French bread thing, yeah, because I used
Yeah.
to use the French bread thing. Whether what I used to do is either slice it in half, and I used to get they used to have a pre-made buffalo wing, or not wing, but buffalo. Like they used to get a chicken breast and put buffalo sauce on it, but you open it up, it was already pre-made. I don't know
Yeah.
if they have those anymore, and I used to put that right inside there. That's how I knew, because I went back to it a couple days later, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's moldy." But at that time, Steve, because I used to get off at a certain time, late like this time, we could go tootle back into Walmart and go get it because it was 24 hours a day.
Yeah, COVID has changed so much in our society.
Man, 9/11 has two. Remember?
Hey, yeah.
Airport. Before you get on that switch of subject, but it was the same thing. Remember another freedom we lost? Airport. Within my lifetime, we lost. Used to be able to go all the way through. Yes, you got checked, man. You made sure you didn't have a freaking gun on you, a knife.
I really believe that will be changing.
I hope so.
I believe that it will be. I mean, why not have a metal detector before you go on the aircraft? What's the difference? You're just going to walk. You got to walk anyways. You're going to walk right through it.
You're right.
I've missed an airplane because of TSA before. And I got her there early.
But you live in a woke state. I mean, it's not just the woke state. There's a lot of people traveling through DIA, to be honest with you.
Oh, man, it's woke beyond measure. When you drive into Denver, the roadsides look like you're in a third world country. Every city I've been in ran by Democrats looks like crap. I saw pictures of Harlem, the turn of the century, in 1900s, early, 1902, 1909. That was a black community even then. But you know what? It was clean. And all the black Americans, the people, nicely dressed, prosperous looking. That's before they got screwed over and put into these freaking, oh, you got to have this, and we're going to give you this and that. And, took the dads away from the families, and all the abortion clinics, they were put right there in the black neighborhoods. Right now, if those abortion clinics weren't there, the black population would probably be 40% of our population easily right now. But we're like a little over 12% because they did those abortion clinics right by the black neighborhoods.
Also tore apart the families, like you said. Took the males away, whether got them addicted to drugs, got them in crime, whether
Sure.
members or all the other stuff that they did. You're right, and it was just wrong. Back then, they also used to wash off the streets, and they used to.
Oh yeah, in fact, I saw a sign. By law, you got to clean your sidewalk in front of your area. You had to clean your sidewalk and the gutter. That was part of the responsibility by law. And everybody, because it was a pretty long video. Well, it was a film in those days, the turn of the century, silent movie. But you can tell by the way the people were acting, the way they were dressed. They were prosperous. You didn't see hardly any, it didn't act like there was a problem. The problem came way later on when they created a problem for the black communities, and also the white communities got problems too. But unfortunately, the black communities were hit much harder because they were targeted by the Democrats. Democrats voted against their rights, to give them their rights. They voted against them to become emancipated, become American citizens. It was the Democrats that voted against that.
Yeah, they wanted to
That's when the 14th. That's when the 14th Amendment was applied. Yeah, they were a people that were not under the jurisdiction of another country. See, if you're under the jurisdiction of another country, the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to you. You cannot be under the jurisdiction of another country. In other words, you can't be a citizen in El Salvador. If you're a citizen in El Salvador, you come up here and have a baby, that baby is still going to be that citizen, will not be a U.S. citizen under the 14th Amendment. Maybe we simplified it too much, but we're not these crazy lawyers trying to twist words and make things say that they're not saying. Our founding fathers wrote it in such a way that it was understandable by everybody.
Just like the firearms, not, you should have less than 20 shot in your gun, and
Right.
and whatever we consider an assault rifle, whatever, mumbo jumbo we make up this day, even though it's not even an assault rifle is what it stands for. I forgot what it does stand for, but anyways, it's not assault rifle. But they come up with all this bullshit, not just that way, Steve, but other ways that they do. And it's just wrong, and they need to start paying coming back. We need justice basically coming here.
But yeah, well, the Supreme Court 3 months ago said any law that infringes on the Second Amendment is an illegal law. What did Polis just sign? Restricting semi-automatic weapons. That is, see, and they're trying to change our Constitution, take away our Tabor, trying to increase our taxes even more. See, we don't have a money problem. We have a Democrat ideology on creating all this stuff and keep on creating it. And a spending problem is what it is.
Yeah, I was also wondering where you were going to take that, Steve, because your psychopaths also said and try to sign in a law of kids. So if a kid wants to go tranny or mental disorder, it's okay. You don't have to tell the parents. And if the parents dead name the kid, it's abuse. Whatever that is, the bullshit name they came up with. And then same thing with the other. If they misgender them too, same way, abuse, and they can take the state can take away the child. It's like, are you kidding me? What the hell?
Well, that's the problem, in that Antifa dude talking doesn't realize that he's creating a society that the first people they're going to get rid of are going to be people like him. Trust me, when you betray your country and the enemy comes in, they know you're a traitor. They will remove you. Yeah.
Why you and me and a lot of other speakers were on the chopping block, or still are. That's why we're fighting for our lives. It's them or us in this scenario, and it's not cutesy. Well, basically, here's what Diane Bongino said: cutesy time is over, and it's true, because we're no longer playing patty cake of, oh, they're bad, or oh, they're Mockingbird. No, they want to take us out. They want to kill us. I mean, take a look at all of us, Steve. We're all being poisoned systematically. We're all being, you need this chemical. You need this poison. You absolutely have to do this. Here's coffee. Oh, we sprayed the coffee, and the coffee's acidic, but you have to have the caffeine in the morning. You don't have to have caffeine.
Well, that's why, original, organic, black, regular chocolate, real chocolate has, if you drink it twice a day for 2 or 3 months, the flavonoids in it actually cause your bone marrow to release T cells like crazy, and they repair your body. You could actually drink original coffee in the chocolate. Or if you'd like, go buy hickory root. That's what I'm going to start doing again. It has a unique taste, but it was used to replace coffee when there was a coffee shortage. Hickory root. And if you go into an Asian market, you'll find coffee with a 50-50 mix, hickory root and regular coffee. So
Yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff out there. I wish and I pray that the ancient manuscripts that were given to Noah by the angel, the book of herbs, surfaces. Because the angel told Noah, within this book is everything you need to heal the human body with every single element that exists. But we think Shem took it, or was given to Shem, because he was the most favored and righteous among the three brothers.
Oh yeah, I was gonna show you this part real quick. You just mentioned it.
And they combine each kilo of cacao with a stick of cinnamon, like massive stick of cinnamon. So they're grinding everything, and this is a volcano stone right in there. Wow, 2 kilos sugar for 1 kilo of cacao. And it goes into the grinder one more time. So the yummy stuff should be coming out of there. This is really interesting. This is a tool you can buy here in Mexico and take home, and it's really good for mixing your hot cocoa. Freshly made hot chocolate. Oh, take some of my egg bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I want to do my own cocoa plant. Or not cocoa,
Yeah.
but I think that's what it is, chocolate plant.
It's expensive because the little bag I buy at Sprouts, organic cocoa, and it also has another herb in it, the Tibetan monks used to make you calm and to help enhance your chi.
Yeah, and the things are like this big, kind of like a size of a watermelon, but football shaped is what the nuts are. But I don't know if it's the seeds you're doing or if it's the meat.
I don't know either, but I know actual cocoa is very bitter.
Yep, that's why you add the sugar and the milk. Yeah, and that's why the higher cacao level you get, the more bitter and
Right. And if you do sugar, you got to get the sugar cane, not processed sugar, but get real sugar like sugar cane. I tell you what, when I was a kid, lived on Guam, and I went boonie stomp, that's what we called it. I remember running across little openings in the jungle, little meadows, and there was sugar cane. So I would take my machete, knock part of it off, peel it back, and as walking around, I was sucking on sugar cane.
oh, sucking on sugar cane this fall. It actually tastes pretty good.
It is. And you know what? I didn't have any cavities either. Go figure. And it was sugar. Then I'd come across, and then there's like a star apple tree. I'd pull a couple of those off while I'm walking around and eating star apples. And I ran across, there's another meadow, and there's some bananas trees growing there. And then I'd pull a couple of bananas. It was, talk about a life as a kid. That was an experience that I will never forget.
We need to have more of that, Steve. What I mean by that is, okay, for us, we would have papaya or pawpaw, which is our native fruit, something similar to the mango.
Yeah, I used to get papayas grow wild too.
Yeah, these are pawpaw though. They're different. I mean, they're native to America. But I'm saying, like, we should have those. We should have apples around, and other stuff that's hardy. Nut trees like pecan and others.
But yeah, if we
every neighborhood.
we return the environment back the way it belonged, get rid of the chemtrailing, we're going to have a lot of stuff that we didn't have. You're going to turn that giant lake that used to be in California, there'll be a giant lake there again. But it took up like a quarter of California. It was huge.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that. Since you mentioned that, Steve, a lot of people were complaining about when the water did come, it flooded some areas. But you got to think about that. It takes a while for the soil to start absorbing a lot of that water when you drought it out. It's the same. If you really want to know, go get a pot from the your local place, Walmart or whatever. Put soil in it and a plant in it, and then don't water it for a while, and then just water it. Just put some water in it, and it'll just flush right through and go right to the bottom, and it won't absorb in the soil at all.
Yeah.
You got to start thinking it does the same thing outside. If it hasn't rained for a while, you're going to have to do that, or else it just runs right off or goes right through.
Oh yeah, there's going to be, but eventually it'll settle down.
Yep.
And because there's areas that probably are supposed to have water, and like little lakes and ponds that don't exist anymore because they're dumping all that water out in the ocean.
Yep. And they knew exactly what they were doing.
And by doing that, they actually changed the environment, and they also changed the atmosphere. Imagine that giant lake California used to have. California would be kind of humid. That lake was that freaking big.
Well, not just that, Steve. Do you remember 20 years ago or more, not hearing about droughts or anything actually right now it's 25 years or more, not hearing about droughts in Colorado or California, because that's where all of our foods grow most of the time, is there in Florida, because it's
California was very seasonal rain. I remember living there 1970, Concord, California. It's East Pittsburgh, but it was north of Concord, California. And there was a dry time, and then it rained like crazy. And then all the foothills turned really luscious green. And there was always a stream that ran all year round that had crawdads in it. I remember that. And people used to go to that stream and get crawdads and actually cook them.
It makes it hard to burn these kind of places. Like, that's another thing we got to start doing. And we're not done with the weather modification. This is just a small taste, and I only got a little bit of the videos.
We got videos, pictures inside the aircraft, the tanks. We got pictures of another aircraft flying and actually videoing the other aircraft, turning the chemtrails on and off, dumping. I've seen those.
Yeah, this is what he's talking about. Oh crap, I picked the wrong one. No, I mean, when downloading these, Steve, it says thumb, and then the other one is not a thumb. So one's a bigger size than the other.
Yeah. Hey, get the one on going down the fuselage. Go down to the other one. Right there. There you go. Yep. Look at that.
I'm just itching thinking about this. No, this. Look at the insulation.
Yeah.
I hate that insulation, but yeah. What is this? A normal airplane?
Yeah, it's probably that. One, two. It might be. It's not a 737. It's the probably a 777 or something like that.
I was gonna say it looks long, but not a 747 or a cargo.
No, it's not a 747. They might use them for that, depending on what they're dumping.
Yep.
But look at that. Why would you have an aircraft with all those chemicals in there to go dump?
Yeah, you can't say it's transporting either because they don't connect them.
No, look at all the cabling in there and the power supplies and the controllers down there, and they're all piped together.
Well, I got a question about that one. Are these cryogenical frozen and they're trying to keep temperature? Or they actually spray temperature? Because I don't want to be that person that, like Gene that starts grabbing at straws.
No, that's probably sitting there. It could be temperatures. I don't know. I don't know enough about this in that manner to really answer that, but they don't look like they're chilled.
Yeah. No, I was talking about the containers inside of the container, because this is just an outside layer.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. They could be, but maybe not. I don't know.
I just want to throw that out there in case. If not, then yes, it could be the other part too. Very well could be either one. I don't want to throw everything, the baby out with the bathwater like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
This is how they have the sprayer in those containers?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's the sprayer that's out on the wing.
Yeah. Or not container, but yeah, you know what it is.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, spray pod. Yep.
Man, I can't believe these guys are begging for a criminal to come back. These sick, sad sons of bitches. Oh no, these ones are actually connected.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a different phase, or we're seeing them in sets or phases, or because yeah, okay, this one's undeniable. And this is the back of the airplane, I'm assuming, or it could be the front.
That's the back.
Yeah, because I was thinking the V part. Yeah,
That's towards the rear, the aft of the aircraft.
but this is what I was expecting of those other things, Steve. Is this kind of stuff coming out of it?
Yeah. Well, the other ones are connected too. They're probably piped in through the floor.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that because there's still a bunch of.
Probably, yeah, because the floors open up on all these. You can take the floors up. You can see all the ribs and everything, the structure.
Yeah, like
Those
the
are probably piped through the bottom.
upgraded because these guys perfected it by this point. And what's really messed up is we're paying for all this crap.
Oh yeah, this is coming out of that money and this is coming through the military somewhere. So our Secretary of State, Pete, he needs to be researching this and cut the money off to this.
Yeah.
Let our planet alone. Let it return to where it belongs. Let it balance itself back out.
All this is absolutely unnecessary. Why
Yeah.
would a refiller have that on the back?
That's a sprayer.
I
That's a
know.
spray.
That's what I'm wondering if that was on the back of because it was a refiller, I told you, Steve, one of the times. And then the other time it was the one.
Oh, that's not a refill. That's not well, the old KC 135s. It's not that. I mean, it could be. I know that looks like a sprayer to me. That doesn't look like it's,
And it doesn't look like something else. If you say, okay, this is brand new since they just came out with the Pegasus in 2020 or 2021, refillable aircraft, these tubes would be facing the other direction if they were doing aerodynamic research, because if you look at Formula One, every time they try to do something new or test out this wing or this part on their car, the tubes are facing frontwards every time.
Those are like a pitot tube.
Yep, I couldn't think of the name.
An aircraft reads the speed is with a pitot tube.
Yep, I just couldn't think of the name, but yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah. But so yeah, they're facing the wrong direction to make that reading. So you're right; it almost looks just nothing like a square for squirting.
Yeah, it does look like it's just for spraying.
And this is not mine. I'm just going through the Telegram thing while we're randomly standing.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. You look up in the sky some days, you see that, and that is keeping the sun from hitting the earth.
It sucks, dude, because it's nice and warm, and then next thing you know, bam, 30 degrees, 15 degrees cooler. Yeah.
Yep. Anyways, though, I think probably I'm going to get offline here, man.
Yep. Let me see if there's one more funny or thing I wanted to show you. I thought there was before you vamonos. Oh, I guess I did. I found one from the Doge, what we should have showed 2 weeks ago, Steve.
Oh, you did?
No, this one.
Oh.
I don't.
They are located in Gakona, Alaska.
I should have. That's what I found when I was going through all the videos. Like, oh, that's Doge.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was funny.